be able to see opportunities to be able to subconsciously see what you have to offer to the world, or it's always going to be able to see opportunities to see how you can apply that within the home. What can you value? You value home. You value domestic issues. You value your emotional stability within yourself. Same way the first house. Your first house. If your first house is Leo, then your sextiles to your first house is always going to be the 11th and the 3rd house. So if your first house is your personality, personal issues, fixed fire, being fixated on his own way of feeling it and seeing things. So that's fire, that's Leo. So if your personality is expressive, if your personality is in being enlightened, seeing things the way you like to see it, being very expressive in your personality and being center stage like. So if that's your first house always gonna witness opportunities for that to be expressed amongst your familiar places and faces and your surroundings. 3rd house, Gemini. Your first house is always going to witness opportunities to be related to the public. 11th house, the unfamiliar, how you conduct yourself in the public arena and how you deal with unfamiliar places and faces and how you deal with the unknown. So you see what I'm saying? So you can do that with every house. Every house has a sextile and a trine. So this is why it is not the best thing that a person or astrologer will look towards when we talk about the houses, and when we talk about the basic natal planets, it's the first thing we'll look towards when we talk about the basic natal planets, your sextile and trines. Now when we talk about going into the houses, now your Jupiter, now say they sextile each other, right? Say your Jupiter is in the 6th house and your Sun is in the 8th house. So your actions and the way you act is here to be transformed in some type of way. You're here to understand the motives behind something and not just be consciously aware of what's in front of you, but what's actually the motives behind something. So that's what your actions should be predicated towards if your Sun is in the 8th house. And you have to work on yourself not to be so judgmental because you may be wrong. Now, if Jupiter is in a if Jupiter was in the 6th house, you're going to already have knowledge and wisdom based upon scheduling, work, health, routine, things you do on a day-to-day basis, right? So you're here to take what you already what you know, and you're here to put that in a situation to transform yourself. So you're here to create a routine. You're here to use your knowledge and your wisdom on routine work with things you could do on a day-to-day basis, which is creating routines, creating healthy work routines and things that you could do on a day-to-day basis, right? You're here to take that and use that wisdom in order to transform yourself, because that's your actions. The way you act is your sun sign, and the house that is in is the energy it should be focused on. And if it's in the 8th house, that's transforming yourself. You see what I'm saying? So you have to use health regimen. So if a lot of things going bad in your life due to your health and stuff like that, then your wisdom and knowledge is already your spirit is already deeply telling you that it should be already spiritually telling you that you need to create some type of routine, some type of health routine around yourself in order for the whatever actions or whatever things that you're into to be enlightened. You see what I'm saying? So that's just certain aspects. Like when you dealing with getting the natal chart reading or dealing with an astrologer, they're not going to break down all these things, in which I myself is to blame, because it's like when you're looking at an astrological chart, it's so many ramifications and so many aspects and so many perceptions that you can look at it that's all still true, that it takes still a wise mind, and it still takes yourself and your own enlightenment in order to comprehend it in your own unique way. So the whole purpose of getting a natal chart reading is having someone who are enlightened to give you a point of view and a point of reference, and give you a certain amount of light that you can receive, aka information, spirit, that you can receive in order to conceive it a certain way. And then the more and more you get enlightened about yourself, the more and more you have your own enlightenment about it, and the more and more you get to utilize certain pieces out of it and to complete your life. So you can start blending your right and left brain together and start being more aligned than unaligned. You know what I'm saying? And that was this is a little quick video on a little technique of how you can use the wisdom and knowledge for your advantage due to your actions in your life. Flight boss, bitch, for sure. Goddamn air.